octopus when you kind of visualize and you know who he is and where he's coming from this movie?
Well, I always visualized the octopus as this guy who wanted to be so much more than he actually was early on in his life. And as he put concoctions together and tried things and was buried in this morgue, he was waiting for his opportunity to just explode and be this kingpin, as he knew kingpins to be, but he wanted to be something exceedingly different than an ordinary, you know, head of a mob. So as he got rid of all those people and sold his drugs and made his concoctions and finally found Denny to experiment on and realized he found the right thing to make him the indestructible being that he wanted to be, he kind of lost his mind. But in the midst of losing his mind, he found a way to create something that was different every day that gave him a reason to get up and just be larger than life. Because he was the center of the universe in his mind. Everything revolves around him. He's the octopus. He's got his hands in everything. You know, so once I figured that part of it out, and I started talking to Frank about, you know, how can I dress? And he said, any way you want to. And I started showing him things, and he would go like, yeah. And then, you know, I think the most bizarre one we came up with was, you know, the black Nazi. That was so awesome. And I was like, I'm a Nazi. So, you know, sort of like Nick Fury became black, you know, I became a black skinhead. So it's like,
it's a wonderful country, isn't it?
Yeah. You can't grow up to be anything you want in America.
And that looks sharp too.
Yeah, I'm hot like that.
Yeah.
So, Deb,
a lightning bolt in the back of my head, it's like bang. The lightning bolt eyebrows are just the right touch.
So, Deb, there's an awful lot of women in that trailer, and some of them I noticed looked quite good. Tell us a little bit about the female cast and introduce our next panel member.
Well, the female
Somebody else got to do that.
The female cast is a lot of the movie. And when Frank was making guns, I was picking out jewelry for the girls all the time. Right, Frank? We made this pack. He picked the guns, I picked the jewelry. And we've got great jewelry. So there's something for everybody in this movie. We have an unbelievable group of women. And they kind of, I think, Frank's way of drawing women and Frank's way of casting women kind of covers every single possible male fantasy there is. We have something for everybody in this movie. Starting with the amazing Eva Mendes playing Sansa. You know, Eva really wanted to be here today. Unfortunately, she's filming on Bad Lieutenant, and they wouldn't let her come. So she wants to send her love to everybody. She's extraordinary in the film. You saw a little bit of her in the trailer. You'll see a little bit more. We're going to show a little bit later. Then she's joined by Scarlett Johansson.
That's my road, though. Scarlett is my hench person who's totally awesome in the film. We dress alike and have fun together and do some really amazing and funny and dangerous things.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Sam and Scarlett get to be the fun ones. They had all the good costumes and all the fun. And she truly is showing a side of her, as you like to say, Frank, as a comedian that we haven't seen before at Scarlett, and it's really quite wonderful. And then they're joined by some really exciting talents. Paz Vega, who plays the very dangerous plaster of Paris, and a new younger actress, Stana Katic, who plays Morgenstern. And then there is the marvelous Sarah Paulson as Ellen Dolan, and she brings something to Ellen we haven't seen before in Ellen, and that is something Frank created for her, which is Ellen is a surgeon. She is certainly a woman of strength of her own, and she's also, when you see her, the quintessential Hitchcock girl. We're all Hitchcock fans here, and one of the things Frank and I talked about early on was the Hitchcock sensibility, and she's that girl for us. And then there's this other girl who is sort of what I call the spirit of the spirit, and that is Lorelei, a creation that is something that sort of, there was a jumping off point, but that Frank kind of built up in this movie, and Lorelei is embodied by an amazingly beautiful, wonderful talent. And she's here to see you, and her name